we prep our bed like we would for anything else. We lay out our hardware cloth, and you can skip the hardware cloth. I found that it just really helps with vole pressure, right? They can't get in underneath that deep compost and get the bulbs, so it just helps with that predation. But we lay down the hardware cloth and we just stake it in, with a couple landscape staples, not a ton. It's gonna be held down a lot with the compost and bulbs. And then I just drive in the U-stakes. There's 2 on the ends, and then each one of the sideboards also gets 2 U-stakes. And they're just put in with a single wood screw. Goes through the U-stake and into the wood. And that's just holding it in place because what's gonna be holding those boards up is the pressure of the compost that's gonna be filled in this bed, pushing out against the board and that U-stake. So it's just gonna be a full bed of compost and tulips underneath. And that's how we're building the bed. So I'm just gonna build out this bed. And then when it's time to plant the tulips, we'll just dump the tulips in and cover them with compost, and that's it. I mean, it's a pretty quick and simple planting process. So we just lay out each one of the boxes, approximately where we think it's gonna have to be dumped along the bed, and then we'll tuck them in here, get everything planted, and then we'll just wait until March, April when these things start popping up. All right, so we got all the bulbs in the ground, and all we have to do is take the tractor, fill it with compost, and just like we did that first 1/4 inch or so, we've got to cover them up by another about 5 to 6 inches or so of soil. So that's why we have the 2x8s down the side here. Then they'll be done. They'll be tucked away and ready for spring blooms. Here they are. 6,000 tulip stems. And just like that, it's done. And I say just like that, but in reality it's not just like that. So if you can see, the sun is down below the horizon. We'll probably have about 30 minutes of light left, and it was a team effort. So I was working on it, and I realized I wasn't going to get it done before the sun went down, so I ran inside and got the rest of the girls, and I didn't film it. I'm sorry guys, but the sequence went like this. Vanessa was on the tractor at the compost pile. She scooped up a load of compost, dumped into the wheelbarrow. I took the wheelbarrow down, dumped it onto the bed, and the girls spread it over top of the tulips. And we just rinsed and repeat that whole process until we had the bed filled. And so now we have about 6 inches. Again, these are 2x8s. And we have about the tulips, 2 inches or so for the tulip bulb. And then there's 5 to 6 inches on top of that. You got to count for some air loft. This will sink a little bit. But the tulips are all planted for the season.